Muhammad, grow up, act like an adult. It was my first day of secondary school. I was so excited. New school, new start. But my father was not so excited. While I was in the intermediate school, my father had spent almost as much time in the principal office as the principal. And he had had enough. And he wanted me to stop fighting. I was always in trouble. Other students would criticize me, trying to pull me down. And I would chase them and fight them, chase them and fight them, chase them and fight them, trying to get them to stop criticizing me. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, good evening.
Good evening.
This type of destructive criticism can destroy us if we don't know how to turn it around. And we need to be able to turn it around. And tonight, I would like to share with you how I was able to turn it around. My first years at the secondary school passed without a single fight. But then it happened. When the first year graduation results were announced, I get first class honor. I just could not believe it. I could not lift my head up high. For the first time in my life, I got an honor. I just could not believe it. Nor could my fellow student, Zeki, who came to me with a red face, streaming coming out of his ear, and said, Muhammad, you don't deserve it. I should be the first class honor, not you. Did I tell you he looked like a big panther? I left Zeki, but Zeki did not leave me alone. Have you ever met someone who has nothing in life to do except trying to prove you wrong? What did you do with that person? Zeki started to criticizing me every day, and I mean every day, from the minute I enter the class until the closing bell. He criticized the way I speak, the way I wrote, the way I read. Do you know what's the only thing he did not criticize? The way he criticized me. I turned a deaf ear to his destructive criticism, but it did not work. It was morning, during the break period, and I remember that day as clearly as I can see right now. Zeki was at me, was at me, was at me. His critical word, drilling holes in my head. And I lost it. I could not tolerate him. I exploded like an interrupted volcano, clenching my fist, targeting his face, ready to strike. And I heard a voice in my head. Grow up. Act like an adult. My father would paralyze me. I left the class to the school garden, gasping for air. What could I do? Changing the school? Quit school? Or give up? While I was debating with myself, my eyes glimpsed Mr. Abbas, our economic teachers, who came over to me with his magical word and said, criticism is the price of your success. And if you want to eat the honey, you have to tolerate the stink of the bee. I left him with a smiling face. And I started to listen to Zeki criticism. And I focus on the word and fact, not in the feeling they generate within me. And I identify a lot of my weaknesses. I hire private tutors to help me with my schoolwork. And it worked. I again, first honors, but this time it was for all the second year classes. And I just could not believe it. Nor could my fellow student Zeki, who came over and said, why are you so happy? Do you think any university would accept you if you graduate with this low average? By the way, this year I did not study. Next year is our final year. And he who laughed last, laughed best. Becoming a university student, this is something I have never thought of. Here was my next step. Here was my next challenge were set by Zaki. And I remember the long hours of study, the buckets of coffee, and the little time of sleep. I am sure you have been through this. But even with all this effort, I was nervous. I just keep telling myself I would not make it this year. Zeki would have the last laugh. Zeki would have the longest life. And while I was waiting the result to be announced, I get a call from my neighbor Abdul Manam, who worked for Al-Yom newspaper. And he said, Muhammad, congratulations. You are one of the top students in the kingdom. I said, what about Zeki? He said, you are the only one, and you will receive the award from His Royal Highness, Prince Mohammed bin Fahd, for being the first student in the Eastern Province. At this moment, I was the happiest person in the entire universe. I just could not believe it. And I grabbed the phone. Can you guess to call home? Yes, Zeki, of course. I am going to tell him. And I am going to tell him, I tolerate you for the past 2 years. You made me study hard, days and nights, to become a university student. And I get this honor. It is my time to laugh. Yes, it is. Is it really my time to laugh? Is it really my time to laugh? Wait for a second. If I did not meet Zeki, and I work hard in my weaknesses, I would not getting this chance, I would not getting this honor, I would not become a university student. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get stung by your Zeki, and you will get stung by your Zeki, don't clench your fist and fight back. You must be pretty good to have someone criticize you. If you are like most people who give up when they are about 1 yard from the finish line, when they cannot tolerate the last stink before they taste their honey of success, then you will never fulfill any of your dreams. Because Zeki brothers are everywhere. Just open your ears, work in your weaknesses, focus in the word and fact, not in the feeling they generate within you. Every stink, every criticism, and then you will enjoy the taste of honey, of your success. So, are you willing to pay the price of your success? Thank you.